I am super excited for this. Again, I always mess this up. Yes. The reveal.
Yeah, I'm watching the rise, and I wouldn't say I'm shocked because I'm hardly surprised. This one's for the ride, this one's for who knew I'd make it, just needed some time. This one's for my wife, could have left 1,000 times just so by my side. This one's for the grind, I knew it would happen because I had strength in my mind.
They are here, the new Rad V2s. I am super excited for this. If you're new here, then you don't know, but I wear Rads all the time. I made my first Rad video 2.5 years ago, 2022, the year the Rads came out. I got a pair in one of their earlier drops, which was super hard to do back then. They would sell out in a matter of minutes. And I opened them in front of all of you, talked about what I thought of them on my first pass looking at them, unboxing them for the first time. And I'm gonna do that again with the version 2s. So let's open these. Again, I always mess this up. Yes. What do we got here? So when I first bought the original Rad ones, the version 1, I did not expect to fall in love with these shoes like I did. I've been CrossFitting since 2014. And then it was pretty much just the Reebok Nano. So I got those and I wore those for about a year until the Nike Metcons came out. And because the Nano wasn't like an ideal fit for me, when the Metcons came out, I was very excited about those. Actually liked those better than the Nanos, although I had multiple iterations of the Reebok Nanos. And I've always sort of switched around, tried different shoes, had some Reeboks, had some Nikes. Then Noble came out, had some Nobles, and also used some other things like Vans and stuff to work out in. And since I've got the Rads, I really haven't worn anything but the Rads. I actually have my first pair of Rads right here that are a little worn out. I wore these for about 10 months straight every single day, which I don't think you're supposed to do. I think you're supposed to switch out shoes ideally to let like the insoles come back and rebound from that pressure that you put on them. At least you're definitely supposed to do that with running shoes. I'm not sure if training shoes it matters as much, but I definitely wore these every day and did not give them a break. And they held up pretty nicely. The only thing like you notice is the back of the shoe got a little worn out, but other than that, not too shabby looking for wearing them every day for 10 months. Version 2s, let's get to it. The reveal. So here are the V2s. This is in that white, green, and purple colorway. I think it's lime something. And just a quick disclosure, nobody's paying me anything to say anything about these shoes. I just have really come to like them and become really hesitant to even try many other shoes because I know how much I like these and how long it's taken me to find a shoe that I've really loved and just want to stick with what's been really good. And the Rad ones were really good. So I'm almost a little bit hesitant to try the V2s because I just love this shoe so much. And you can see, here we go, like a little bit of a side-by-side comparison. V1, V2, both still called Rad 1, just in case that's confusing for anyone. But V1, V2. You can see some differences aside from the color, which is purely cosmetic, but the insole cage right here on the V2s has this wave format going on. This has been, I feel like, a little bit controversial, changing up the look quite a bit, but that is supposed to make the shoe better for rope climbs, a little bit more durable. It actually, I believe, makes the shoe a tiny bit more heavy because the plastic they used is just a little bit more durable and goes a little bit higher up on the side of the shoe than the V1, but supposed to be better for rope climbs. Kind of has more of like a athletic street look. Some people like that, some people don't. Me, I'm a little bit indifferent. I care more about how the shoe feels while working out, although I've always liked the look of the Rad ones. But I really care more about what the shoe feels like and how it performs. So we are gonna take these to the gym and I'll wear them for a workout and get a little bit of an idea of how they feel and if I like them as quickly as I liked the Rad Ones. Because I put on the Rad Ones and immediately, or the Rad Ones V1s, and immediately knew that I really liked this shoe. Did my first workout and felt good in the first workout. Sometimes you need to break shoes in quite a bit. There is a little bit of a break in, but pretty quickly, even in the first workout, very comfortable shoe, the V1s. So hoping for the same thing with the V2s. I also believe that there's a little bit of more flexibility in the mesh here, which makes them a little bit more accommodating for a wider foot compared to the V1s. So if you have a wider foot, these are supposed to be a little bit better than the initial ones. I don't have a super wide foot, so I don't know if that's really something that I'll notice, but some of the really wide shoes, because I don't have a wide foot, they feel a little bit big in the front. Like they feel a little bit like clown shoes because my foot's not super wide. I can't fill them. I don't think that'll be an issue with these. Just looking at them and looking at the V1 versions, they are fairly similar. I'm gonna grab my brighter pink RADs, which I do have behind me because I wear RADs all the time. And my goal is to, even if I love the V2s, to rotate them with my V1s, which unfortunately are no longer available, but to rotate them so that I don't wear down any one shoe as much as the other. But taking a look, they do maintain a lot of the integrity of the RAD vibe. They are a little different, but I do feel like they look like cousins. So if you like the way the RADs looked, they look sort of similar to what the previous pairs looked like. Also, I do want to mention this heel clip is supposed to give added stability. We will be doing a little bit of lifting with the workout today, so I'll see if I notice or feel that at all. So let's take these to the gym and try them out for the first time. Rad V2s. Will I like them as much as the Rad V1s? It's gonna be hard, but maybe. So I usually wear my shoes to the gym. I walk to the gym from where I live, and it usually gives me a little bit of a warm up, and it breaks in brand new shoes like this. Obviously, did not wear these shoes to the gym. It was raining out. These are white shoes. They're brand new. I did not want to get them all wet and gross. So wore other shoes, changed into these. This is my first time putting them on. This is a look at them. They definitely have more of a athletic streetwear look, but I'm kind of vibing with it. It's a different look from the Rad One V1s. Here I am sort of breaking them in just a little bit as I warm up because, like I said, it does take a little bit of time to break these shoes in. I don't feel like as much time as some other shoes, but usually that walk to the gym helps get them feeling pretty comfy by the time I get there. Did not have that, so needed to sort of break them in with my warm-up, but that was fine because I got to warm up for the workout anyway. Might as well break in the shoes. But they definitely felt a little bit new during the beginning parts of this warm-up. They did get more comfy as I went throughout it and felt more like a shoe I've been wearing for a while as opposed to a brand new shoe. So now we're getting that barbell out to do some deadlifts here, just sort of warm up the body for the workout, which does have deadlifts in it. And you're about to see what it is. It is an open workout. There's going to be an open repeat this year. Dave Castro has already said that in one of his weekend reviews. So I saw this one programmed a few weeks ago for jump ship training and decided I should do it. This is me being like a little bit nervous and wasting time before I get into this workout because, you know, it's hard to press that button and get that 10-second countdown going. Once it starts, kind of gotta go. So here's the graphic, 13.2. I found this little picture on the game site, an old photo of Julie Fouché there. The workout is 10 minutes, as many rounds and reps as possible. Shoulder to overhead, 5 reps, 10 reps of the deadlift, 15 reps of a box jump. The weight for men was 115 pounds and 75 pounds for women. The elites were getting like 12 plus rounds. I did not get that, but I tried to stay moving throughout the entire workout. And box jumps, definitely a good way to break in shoes because you're landing hard with impact and it just kind of gets them all, gets your foot really imprinted into the sole of that shoe. And they felt pretty good here. I do mess up one of these box jumps. There it is. There it is. It was not the shoe's fault. That was my open workout nerves, which is hard to avoid. And I did do an extra rep, I believe, to make up for that one that did not count that I missed. It is that time of year, getting ready for the open, and you always kind of get a little nervous for these workouts because they're going to hurt. This started to hurt a little bit. I don't know if I quite went to that dark place that I would usually go to, when you're trying to get a great score in the open. It's a little bit different than when you're just testing the workout out in your gym. There's a little bit more pressure to perform when you're doing that in the open and sort of hit a PR. I'm just doing this workout by myself for fun, so a little bit different. But it was a lot of just keep moving. You just got to keep moving and get into the next rep because the weight's not quite heavy enough to make it that you can't do another rep. And the box jumps are, annoying, but you can usually jump back up and get back off that box. Speaking of these shoes, the creator of RAD Ones is Ben Massey, or one of the creators. He was actually a CrossFit athlete. He was a regionals level athlete as an individual. He went to the games on a team. And I think because he is a ex-CrossFit athlete who really loved shoes growing up and was involved in the sneaker world, that he was able to put together a really great shoe that we haven't seen with some of the other shoe brands that have come into the space, because they're not always created by people who do these movements all the time, who probably has done 13.2 here and knows what we need from the shoes versus someone who just is making an athletic shoe for athletic people. So I think it is really cool that the people who are involved with RAD are, people who CrossFit. That's who we want to be making our shoes. My first couple reps by box jumps always look so much better than the last of the 15. You start to get a little bit fatigued and you looks a little bit, like it takes a little bit more effort to get onto that box. Also, another tip if you're doing the open. One, I think getting these movements in that we've seen over and over again in the open into your training prior to the open so they don't feel as scary, even if you're not good at them, is always a smart idea. So box jumps, we see those a lot of years. Usually box jump overs now though, or burpee box jump overs, usually not just up on the box, because we've seen some issues with extending the hips at the top of the box, but definitely could be something that we see in the open. Gets your heart rate up. Shoulder to overhead, definitely something we could see. Deadlifts, we see very frequently in the open. So these are just all movements you might want to get into your routine before the open. And also, I recommend this pretty much every time I do one of these voiceovers, but I think it can be really valuable to videotape yourself. You don't need to post it on YouTube like I am right now, but with the open coming up, with the fact that you're going to have a judge looking at you and critiquing your reps, knowing what you look like when you move and knowing what it feels like and looks like to hit the standard. Because if you're hitting it in your video, then you watch it back and you see it, you can sort of coordinate those things in your brain. So you realize what you have to do to make it look right for the judge. I think that's so important. I think it helps you become a better mover if you see yourself. You don't have to show anyone else the video. You can just delete it after you look at it. But I think there's a lot of value in getting to look at yourself do a workout like this. Because a lot of people don't stand up on the top of the box. And then even on these shoulder overhead, a lot of people don't get their head through when they get to the top of the rep. So they don't complete the shoulder to overhead. We're going into those deadlifts. A lot of people don't stand all the way up on the deadlift. And when you're going really fast, it can be easy to miss that extension. And I have been guilty of that myself at times. But if you know what it looks like, if you know what it looks like to do it wrong, and you know what it looks like to do it right, and you've seen it on video and you've seen yourself do it, super valuable, can save you a lot of trouble in the open, getting no repped or getting upset about being no repped. This is the part of the workout, as you saw by that box jump, that I was starting to really feel it. But I will also say, I was not noticing the fact that I was wearing new shoes at this point. So that's a point for RADs, Rad V2s. But I was definitely starting to feel Dave Castro's programming of this 2013 workout. And I did not do this in 2013. I started CrossFitting in 2014. So this is just a little before my time, but I'm doing it now. And it was hard, but I think I could have made it harder if it was the actual open and I had a judge and I'm like, this is do or die, which I knew this was more like testing it out versus do or die. And the first round, I go straight from the shoulder to overhead directly into my deadlifts. I did not do that after that because I felt like just that break of letting it hit the ground was a good break, right? Because if you're going to need a break somewhere that it makes sense. So the deadlift, and when you have to, deadlifts touch the ground anyway, they have to come to the ground. That's a great place to take a quick second if you need one. You don't want to take it on the shoulder to overhead because then you have to clean that bar up again to get another rep. That's a lot of wasted energy. Take that, if you can go 5 unbroken on the shoulder to overhead, do that and then take that rest on the deadlifts. Either take like 5-5 or drop it from the top of the overhead and let it sit for a second, then go into your deadlifts, take your rests there. Definitely could have done these box jumps a little faster. Also, when people did this in the Open in 2013, rebounding box jumps were definitely going on. They were in vogue. Now we don't do nearly as many rebounding box jumps because of Achilles injuries and things. So it's usually in the rules that you have to step down. So I don't anticipate seeing rebounding box jumps. So I just stayed with the step down. But rebound's a good thing to practice if you want to be competitive because it is a good thing to possibly have in your toolbox, but it's not needed in a regular gym setting. Also, I am slowly getting further and further away from this box, which is creating, more space that I have to walk and wasted seconds. This is definitely a seconds workout because you can get a rep or two in a couple seconds. These reps aren't big reps, right? It's not like something like a muscle up where one rep can take a lot of time, but it makes a big difference on the leaderboard. One rep is fast in this and is easy to quickly do. So having less transition time is smarter because you can get a couple extra reps just by having less transition time in a lightweight, fairly low bar to entry, low complexity workout like this. But I definitely felt like the worst part of this, I think, was the box jumps for me. The barbell wasn't too bad. It was movable weight and fairly simple movements with it. There was no squatting. There was no snatching. It was just, I stepped back an extra step that time. That was a mistake. You got to stay right on that box and jump up. That's also how you get a couple extra reps. Stay really close. I looked at the clock there because my clock is over by the camera, and you just gotta move, Amanda. You gotta move. Gotta pick it up. No looking at the clock. Just keep going. I am almost strict pressing these. It is definitely a push press. Push press is probably your smartest bet versus a push jerk, but some of them kind of looked a little bit more strict than was probably necessary. Then right into those deadlifts. I knew I wasn't going to finish this round. I believe this would be I'm in the 8th round. I didn't finish this round, and I had a feeling there was no way I was going to. So I think, let myself not finish versus killing myself to finish. I am going faster on these box jumps, trying to see if I can get close. And then I looked over the clock again and been like, no way I'm finishing these. And there you go. Slowed down a tiny bit. Probably shouldn't even looked at the clock. Should have just kept my head down and kept going. But open workout, hurting a little bit, wanting any excuse to go a little bit slower. And it's not actually for an open score. But I figured I'd test it. So this is the redo. Now I know what I need to beat. Even though I've never done this workout prior to this, I would be able to have a score to beat in this redo. I'm going to guess the redo is going to be something we've done more recently than 2013. But who knows what Dave Castro has cooked up for us. And again, not thinking about the new shoes right now while I die on the floor. Finish that up. Talking to you from outside the gym where it is. Can you see this? Raining. It's all blurry. Oh, there we go. It is raining, but it'll cool me off. I think I almost finished 8 rounds of that workout. There's still some time before the Open. Would have loved to have gotten 8 rounds, but you know, it's the end of a training week, and you just gotta some days take what you get. Box jumps are not my favorite. I didn't rebound them, so that slows you down quite a bit, but probably kept my heart rate down so I can keep going on the other movements. So maybe it was worth the trade-off. But I was really nervous going into that workout because open workouts, they're always a little bit scary, even when it's not actually for any particular reason, like you're not logging the score. It just feels nerve-wracking. But we're gonna use the new shoes to do a weightlifting movement here. I believe the Rad One, the reason it's called the Rad One is it's like one shoe to do multiple things. So you are supposed to be able to lift in it. I feel pretty comfortable lifting in regular CrossFit shoes. So here I am doing some back squats in my new RADs, and no issues with that for me. Don't necessarily need a lifter to lift. And actually, since I've started wearing my RADs, I almost never use lifters. I'm pretty comfortable, and I haven't done all the lifts in these shoes yet. These are brand new. But my RAD One V1s, I've used those for most of my lifting and really like them. So no complaints here. Enjoyed the shoes, felt like they were a good fit here and worked well to get that lifting in and to feel pretty good and comfortable in the shoes. And that's all we did today. The Rad One's pretty comfortable. Carson, what are you doing? What are you doing? Back home with a mildly excited Carson, excited to see me, I think. But on the shoes, the Rad V2s. The biggest thing I noticed was probably that there's definitely like a little more cushioning, at least from what I noticed, around the back of the heel, which didn't like bother me at all. It just felt more comfy. It was nice. It felt more comfy, and like I won't get this issue, you see that I had with the V1s. So that definitely a bonus. The stability was really good too. Carson wants to play. Go get it. The stability was very nice too in the heel with that heel lock, and I believe there's some technology in the midsole that helps with stability as well. And my foot felt fairly stable throughout the workout. I also want to be real with you in the sense that I wouldn't recommend buying something if I don't think you need it. And if you don't need a new pair of sneakers and you already have the RADs and you like your Rad V1s, I just think that you can get the V2s down the line when you actually need a new pair of shoes, because I don't think they're different enough that you need to rush out and get them. Do they make an improvement on the Rad ones? I think they might in some places, some of the stuff I mentioned before, but not a big enough one that I think that you need to replace shoes if you have a solid pair that still has a lot of wear left in them. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe if you want to hear how I feel about the shoes down the line, because I'm sure I'll update you after I wear them a little bit more and also wear my V1s and go back and forth and really feel the difference. And lots more open content to come. So make sure you come back and watch all of that, because I'll have a lot to share. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.